Welcome to Wayne's Weird World. Yes, Gus. You want to play? Wait a minute. What? You've been under the benches. You're dirty. I know it. There's a clean side and a dirty side. This is the dirty side for Gus. Up you go. Ah. He wants to play. Nothing exotic today. Just a spot of Jamison. I've been a bit slow today. Yesterday was very emotional. Life's the shits when friends die. What do you do? Anyway, this is one that I had prepared for the local show, but first off, this one, then that one, were past it by the time the show was ready. And then I broke that one, the spike, and that's the only one that's still looking decent. So they're all coming out. And I'm going to pot them up for Fred, because he gave me a raised garden bed metal. And they're just tucked into a bit of sphagnum moss. I found it. Nice little ones. Pleione buckleberry. I'll pull out the sphagnum moss later, because I'm not going to use that in this potting up. And all I'm going to do is cut off the flowers. Whoa, don't spill the Jamison. And they're going to get tucked into potting mix. Now, there's a website. Oh, I think they're in Victoria. I'm not sure exactly. Australia, called Trains for the Garden. And this is basically the way they recommend potting up their Pleione bulbs. Just tease them out. And I'm not going to put gravel in the bottom. They recommend gravel in the bottom. But what I have done is just put some newspaper in the bottom of the pot. A couple inches of potting mix. Then they pelletized animal manure. In this case, it's Charlie carp, because we've got all these lakes and rivers in mainland Australia that are overrun by European carp. Well, we might as well put them to good use. Yes, we will. This actually was looking quite good until 2 days before the show, and then it all went downhill from there. So it didn't get to the show. Oh well. I'm not going to trim off all those, and I'm just going to go along and pinch off the flowers, because they may or may not have been fertilized, pollinated, and I don't want them growing seed pods, because that means all their energy goes into producing seed, and I would prefer they put in their energy growing and building up nice healthy bulbs. So I've got 7 of them, and I'll leave that one. Okay, there they are. I'll leave that one. So, put this aside, and I'll clean this out later. I'll probably reuse it. I drilled down through the middle of the whole thing, and with one of my long drill bits. So I'll give it a coat of linseed oil. Whoops! Did I lose one? Yes, I did. I'll give it a coat of dilute linseed oil and and terps, and use it perhaps next year. Now, hopefully I won't bump the tripod. Oh, potting mix. There we go. Potting mix. About a third, quarter to a third. We're not going to be too exact here. No. Yeah, all's all right. And now, where did I put it? Here we are. Charlie carp. Instead of pelletized animal manure, it's pelletized European carp. Really, really strong smell. Oh, don't get it in my whiskey. Just a layer. Doesn't have to be a lot, but it's going to keep those bulbs going really nicely. So there, we're that far now. Now, another layer of potting mix. Really nice free draining potting mix. Give yourself a little bit of space at the top of the pot. A little bit more. A little bit more. And then just start tucking them in. And sometimes you put a layer of gravel over the top. Not necessary, but can be good. And it also looks good in a show. Because one stipulation here in Tasmania for the local shows is that they have to be potted up for 12 months. Plus or minus a week. Now, about halfway. Just leave the bulb sticking out a little bit. It's not critical. Not critical at all. And that's it. Potting up Pleione bulbs. Ooh. Newspaper for the bottom. Yep. All's good. Leaving those longer fibrous roots is not going to be a problem, because it actually helps to anchor them in. A little bit more here. Then I'll lift them a tiny bit. What? No, you're noisy. I didn't hear anybody, but you have better hearing than I have. That's not saying a lot. He's got a lot better hearing than I've got. My hearing, not all that good. When you have 3 holes drilled in your head and you lose 80% of your hearing in your right ear, whoops, oh crap. That didn't go over well. Hollow it out, tuck it back in, come on. Stop messing around, leave it, and that's it. Pleione bulbs, buckleberry. That is good living sphagnum moss. I'm not going to throw it out. I'll put it somewhere else. And the spent flowers and so forth. Yep. Ah, well, I'll deal with that later. That's it. Pleione repotting. And a spot of whiskey on a gray, drizzly day. What? Oh, come on. Up here. How dirty are you? Who knows? Yeah. Look. Sold off cheap to the highest bidder? Yeah, okay, I know. Off you go. Later on this weekend, next week, all all of the orchids that have been in the show, all the flower spikes are going to get cut off, because that way they put all the energy back into new growth. The big one over there with 12, the big speciosum with 12 spikes, this big Dendrobium delicatum apple blossom, they're all going to get cut off. Ones that didn't go to the show, yeah, I might leave them for another week or two. That one, that's gorgeous. This is the one that had the most prizes of any of my, oh, come on. And yes, it's going to get cut off as well. I know they're cute. I know they're gorgeous. But you've got a choice. You want them as is, or do you want them for the show next year? Well, I'll cut them off and I'll put them in a vase. Give them to some good-looking lady. I don't know. Whatever. Oh, we're gonna hang that there. I'll hang it there. That's it. Wayne's Weird World. We'll see you next time. Some sunny day, baby, some